those day 2, day 3, day 4 runners, very often. So at that time, during those times, I am definitely more long biased. I'm looking for short squeezes. Now, I don't trade the bounce too often. I really don't. I just suck at trading the bounce. I don't know why. My brain just can't go there for some reason. But I really like to trade short squeezes. And I trade the short squeezes around areas where I think that shorts have piled in too early before any real resistance. So those are really awesome plays. And yeah, we could talk about the short squeezes. We could talk about my resistance levels, whatever you guys want to talk about today. Let's check this out. Wow, we got a full house. Thank you all for being here. We were supposed to have Micah Yo Show yesterday, but man, your boy is sick again. So I'm going to try to spare you from the throat clearing as much as possible. Holy crap. There's a ton of you in here. J-Spec Cruz. Stock Flippers, new member, welcome. Thank you for being on the show. JIT, what's up, man? J-Spec, OG member.
Yeah, I should find it.
CN3LL4, nice to see you here. Wallball, what's up? Cruz, another OG member. Zachem, Maya, Miko. MRH, what's up, MRH? Short Bear, what's up, man? He says, what's up, German God? Definitely not. But I am German. Miko, C Nano, what's up? Captain Ramen, what's up, man? Good morning. Cruz says use some vapor rub. Hell no. Trader Boy, Ricky, Gino. Nice to see you, Gino. Man, Gino, I haven't seen you say anything since the last Micah Yo Show. Punch Drunk Trader, what's up? Newbie in the house, he says. We're all a newbie in one area of life or the other. Maybe you're just a newbie in trading, but you're an expert in something else, right? Mike Zoe, new member here. Love the positive energy. Thank you so much, Mike. Good morning. Defy, hey, what's up? Okay, guys. Thank you all for being here. Me 109 Wraith, newbie trader here too, learning a lot. Really awesome. Glad to hear that, man. Guys, please ask me your questions. Let me know how I can help you on your journey. This Micah Yo Show will be posted to Twitter and to YouTube, and we will we'll answer questions in here and hopefully help someone else on their journey who maybe can't afford to be inside of a chat room, or maybe is like many people, many aspiring full-time traders, and they have a job, so they can't be in chat and ask questions and be here for this. But doesn't matter. We're going to make it free, and we're going to upload it, and they can watch it in their own time. So please let me know if you guys have any questions, what you want me to talk about. We've had super crazy action. Last week we had a private Micah Yo Show that was not posted to YouTube. This time we're going to post it to YouTube. So whatever you guys want to talk about, we can get into that. How was your week? What's everyone up to? CEO still hanging around here at this 290 area. I'm really not convinced that it's done. It's flirting with VWAP right now. Of course, it could flush, but I don't want to be early on plays like this. Like I said, I'm looking at some relative strength here. You know, we had the washout at the open. failed. They saved it, reclaimed it, and we're, you know, coming into 11 a.m. right now, and it's still just going sideways. You know, it's not really dying. It's not really fading off. So usually when you see something die, it goes parabolic and it collapses, right? So we haven't seen that. Of course, it doesn't always go parabolic and collapse, but a lot of times when you're looking for that sudden rug pull, price has squeezed and ripped out a lot of early shorts, and that's actually the parabolic move. So you can see here, a lot of people were shorting in the morning, right? You can see like 10 o'clock started the 10:10 really started this really epic squeeze, and you can see the volume come in too. Can you guys see that on your chart? At 10:10, volume comes in and price really starts squeezing, gets above VWAP. Not that VWAP matters to me, but I don't use it for that reason. But price reclaims VWAP and off she goes, right? But you can see that everybody was short. There's a lot of people saying that their broker had shares and everyone had shares and, you know, whatever. But you can see that everyone was short this morning after we saw a little bit of a fade. They just wanted it higher, and they saved it, and she squeezed. But this area up here, this $3 to $3.10 area, I don't put that much weight on it for resistance as I would into the 320s and 30s. That's a stronger area of resistance for me. So if you guys look at a SEAL chart today, we have this range bound sideways action in the morning, and then we have a big squeeze, and now we're still inside of a new range bound sideways chop chart. We're still inside of this, you know, price is really just floating around between 288 and 309 for the most part, just this tiny range. And I can only assume that it's going to squeeze again, and it's going to pop to that, you know, I really like that 328 area. But we'll see, you know, I mean, it's Friday. A lot of people have called off for the week. And, you know, from a volume standpoint, Fridays just, statistically speaking, are not the greatest for liquidity. A lot of people are closing shop right after the first 30 minutes. Or maybe they don't even show up at all on Friday because the volume is subpar, and that affects our trade plan greatly. So SEEL back at 3 after a big wash to 282. I'm not surprised, but you know, here's the thing, guys. Whenever I give an opinion, of course, this is just my opinion, my non-professional opinion. They're not going, okay, stocks don't move straight up and down from A to Z, right? They don't go from A to Z back to A. They have many different patterns in between. And when I see an area of resistance, a subpar area of resistance, such as this $3.10, $3 area, when I see it fade off of that area, I'm really not convinced that it's over. I think that they're accumulating. I think that they have let off the gas, they've pumped the brakes a little bit, and the bids have dropped off, and of course, you know, all the inexperienced shorts are trying to smoke the bid, chase it down, and then what ends up happening? You see it right here on SEAL. We had a big flush to 282. Now SEAL is at 307. This is exactly what I'm waiting for. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Right here, using this SEAL chart. Now, this is my short squeeze strategy. Right here on this SEAL chart, the people who have shorted at 305, 310, where's their risk? Where's the area that they're looking to stop out at? Most likely. Cruz says high of day. Ricky says 320. J-Spec says high of day. Anyone else? We got like 70 people in here. I want to see some answers. Where are people looking to stop out if they shorted at 305, 310? MRA says margin call. That's hilarious. Don't make me laugh. Okay, we're getting more answers here. I see 325, 296, high of day, 319, 320. Wallball says 460s. CH Doyle, level 2 would say. I don't believe so. Zach from 377. Mojo says high of day. Punch Drunk Trader, high of day. Okay, so you guys are all basically right, okay? Anywhere between this 317 to 320, which, or, you know, a tick above that is high of day. That's exactly where they're using their risk. Now, the other people who may have gotten really lucky in top tick, which is few, right? Because it's just laws of probabilities, okay? Most people were eyeballing 3 to 315 area. So they're probably using high of day, which is 320, as risk. They're saying, okay, if it gets above 320, I'm going to take it off. So, of course, there are people, now that's best case scenario, in my opinion. Okay, now remember, when I talk about my strategies, this is just my opinion. So, that's best case scenario, but you have to remember that those are the most disciplined traders, the guys at 315, you know, starting in at $3 to 315. These are the guys that are more disciplined, but we have to remember that the majority of people really are not those people waiting for those perfect entries, what they consider perfect entries. So when we see the flush here, okay, it puts in 320 high of day. When we see that flush back to 297, you better believe that people were slamming that. Then we flushed a little bit to 296, we flushed to 291, we flushed to 282. You better believe that people were slamming that the whole way down. Okay? Now, what happens there? What happens when someone, like VWAP, for example? This is why I say VWAP is such a poor indicator when looking to slam a stock. I really don't believe that it's a great indicator. Now, of course, it may be for you, but for me, it's not. Okay? So follow your own trade plan, but I'm going to show you mine. 287, right? It cracks below 287. A lot of inexperienced traders, VWAP traders, are slamming it there. What happens immediately? The stock spikes. You better believe that a ton of people slammed it there at VWAP. Now, what's going to happen here? Here's what happens. These people who have slammed, you know, keep in mind, now look at your chart. People are in all the way from 315, the bulk of them, from 315 down to that VWAP area, right? We could just see that on the chart. So everywhere in between, there's going to be traders looking to stop out of their short. And they're going to be using all different kinds of areas to stop out at the short. Now, we have to remember, what do most traders use? They use whole and half dollar marks, the inexperienced crowd, right? That's what I always base my analysis off of. It's really important to understand what the majority of speculators are using, in my opinion. The majority of new traders are using whole and half dollar marks. Very foolish analysis, but hey, that's what they're doing. You could see it all over the chart every time. You can see it by the volume, you can see it by price action. So a lot of people were using $3 as risk. Those people that shorted under VWAP, they're using $3 as risk. Now, what happens when $3 is reclaimed? Okay, it spiked to 308. That's probably a lot of people saying, I need to get the F out. Okay? Now, some people are saying 305. Some people are saying 310, 315. And then, of course, almost everyone is saying high of day, which is above 320. So here's my approach. There's a lot of belief building that this can continue if it breaks 3. Now, it's broken 3, and it's so far stopped at 308, right? But the real confirmation is if we see new high of day, I'm very confident that it's going to squeeze further. It's not going to be by a tick or it's not going to be by a tick or two. It's going to squeeze into the next resistance area. And this is what I'm looking for. This is what I like. This is what I like to base my trades off of. I like to see people make poor judgment calls on, you know, here's one way that I identify a squeeze, right? So if you look across the small cap market right now, what's the only thing that's holding up really? Steel. Today, March 22nd, 2019. The only thing that's really holding up right now is steel, right? So we have an overcrowded play, and then if you've done your homework, you know that steel is, there's borrows everywhere, okay? There's borrows everywhere. There's borrows at many different brokers in the morning, and I'm not going to name them, but there's a ton of borrows. Now, what is that? That creates an environment for everyone to participate on the short side. Okay, the barrier for entry is nullified. The barrier doesn't exist anymore. Okay, when everyone has borrows, that sets up a quote-unquote perfect storm, right? So, first up, everyone had borrows on this. Okay, you can see that the stock already squeezed big once today. A lot of people got hurt in that. Number two, we have the argument of relative strength. Relative strength, what do I mean by that? Price is at or near its highs. That's one way that we can define relative strength. Another way is after the morning, after the first hour, after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, noon, all these different time frames, price is still at or near relative high, the highs. That's also considered relative strength. How else can we measure relative strength? Well, we put in a high of day, it's washed below VWAP, totally reclaimed, and it's back creeping towards high of day. Another argument, relative strength. These are not arguments towards relative weakness, okay, which we also have to do when we're looking to short a stock. These are more towards relative strength. Does everyone understand that? These are more towards relative strength, and that's how we can gauge that something is likely to squeeze. Now, of course, nothing's 100%, but the more check marks, the more boxes that you can check in your argument of relative strength, the better. So, will steel see a new high of day? Of course, we don't know. But it's looking like it can see a new high of day more than it can dump. Now, of course, it might dump. That's fine. It's Friday. Volume is really diminishing here. But, of course, I'm not going to take that and run with it and go short here at 306. I'm not doing it. Because it has the affinity to trap again, and I will either wait for the trap. If it doesn't happen, then I'll just close shop for the weekend. Cruz says RSI, LOL, just messing. Okay, is that resonating with everyone, my approach to short squeezes? Is that helpful to you guys? Is there anything that you want me to go over again? That's my approach to short squeezes. And should the stock squeeze, I'll look to capitalize on the short at the proven resistance above So this area right here is really not a great area of resistance for me. I talked about the $3 level, how I don't put a lot of value trading around the whole and half numbers. Stocks move in patterns and channels. It's very obvious. You guys can see it all throughout the market. And sometimes stocks will fade mid-channel, and a lot of people, unfortunately, think that they're done there, and they slam it, chase it down, and then it squeezes. And, we see it all the time. SEAL now at 311. This is going to be very fun if it can squeeze here. It's a new high of day while we're live on Micah Yo Show, because we talked about how this is what I've been expecting, and how you can anticipate these squeeze plays. So it'll be interesting if it happens. Miko, how do you set up an entry for this type of squeeze setup? So there's a few different ways that you can trade the squeeze. One way that I really like to trade the squeeze is breaking into new high of day. That's one way that I like to trade the squeeze. Now, there's not a whole lot of meat on SEAL to break in, to run after new high of day, because I have some pretty heavy resistance into 328 area. But usually if we can see a high of day break that's outside of that channel, that I don't like to be trading in that pocket, that range bound chop, if we can break outside of that, that's usually a great way to trade the squeeze. Now, there's two reasons for that. Number one is, like we just mentioned, the early shorts are using that area as risk, right? So if price gets to 317, 318, 319, 320, the stock is going to rip. Okay, now there's two reasons for that, in my opinion. The early shorts are saying, I need to get the F out, right? We talked about that. And then you have to remember the other side. The longs now have confirmation that it's going higher. So early shorts are getting out one by one. It's spiking the stock. Now the longs are saying, okay, the stock is spiking, I'm buying. Goes up a little bit higher. Shorts are saying, man, this is going higher. I need to get out right now. Right? They're panicking out. That spikes the stock. Now what happens? Now the longs are saying, man, this is really going now. I really need to get in. Boom, now they're buying it up. Now that spiking the stock. Now even more shorts are panicking out. You guys see how the short squeeze works? That, in a nutshell, is the short squeeze play. So we understand why it happens. Now all we need to do is formulate it into a trade plan. Now, I'm looking for the channel break to go long. That's a spot that I really like to go long at. Where do I use my risk? I can use the swing low as risk, or I could use the whole or half dollar as risk. That's the area that most traders are using. So I know that, I have to remember that that's where the crowd is. So I know longs, if they're buying it at 317, 320, where's their risk? Now I'm going to ask you guys, where are they looking to stop out at? Where's their risk? If a long is buying this at new high of day, where is the area that they want to stop out at? Okay, I see 293, 295, 290. You guys are right in that pocket. But it's really $3. right? We have to remember that a lot of inexperienced traders are using these whole and half numbers as if they're gospel. They're not. Yeah, wall bulk. The whole number plus the majority. So a lot of traders are saying, man, if, I'm going to go long high of daybreak, and if it gets below 3, then I'm out. Right? That's what they're saying. Now, what did we just see happen here? The stock peaked at 314 and it washed to 298, right? Now, you better believe that everyone just slammed that short. Better believe it. So, does this tell me that seal is over? No. Actually, on the contrary, I think that was accumulation, and now it has even more of a reason to squeeze. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. I don't believe that seal is done because it washes 20 cents abruptly. I think that is a tactic to get people to slam it short, and then they mark it higher and squeeze them out. That's what my trading is all about. That's what I believe. The majority gives the whole number more significance than it would usually have, but this is the only thing moving. Yes. Yeah, this is the only thing moving. So you know that it's crowded. Okay, it's Friday. A lot of people are off guard. They're tired. They're winding down for the weekend. They just want that last easy short to, on something that they have borrows on to wrap up the week. And, very famous saying, in Wall Street, if everything points to one direction, it's probably going the other direction. Now, of course, can it die here? Yes. I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm waiting for the high probability play, right? Because we're still inside of this pocket. Now, there's not a trade to be made, in my opinion, inside of this pocket. You're just going to get chopped around. Wait for the stock to break out into resistance, then you could short it at resistance, or wait for the stock to totally die, and then you may be able to use this area to short on a pop in the future. But right here, this is a no trade zone for me. So this has been my approach to the short squeeze. I hope that you guys have liked it. I hope that you guys have found value in it. Cruz says, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's probably not a duck. It's funny, but outside of the market, it would be a duck. But inside of the market, somehow it transforms to a fox. When everyone wants something and is 100% sure bet, it's a safe bet, it never works out that way, right? So I'm just going to sit on my hands and wait. Had a really great week. It was awesome talking to all the new members, seeing what you guys are up to, seeing how I can help you in your trade plans. I answered a ton of private messages, so please check those out. If you sent me a message, I got back to everyone. And we're just going to sit and wait. No reason to force something if it's not setting up. There's absolutely no reason to force it. That's how you lose money. I've been guilty of that many times in the past. Some of the most boneheaded decisions I've made were forcing things that didn't even set up, just being a cowboy trying to short size everything or long size everything. But if you get squeezed enough times, you start to understand where not to get squeezed. Like A really great short seller, whether they realize it or not, is also a pretty good long biased trader. Is pretty good at longing stocks, whether they realize that or not. Because when you understand where not to short, that may be your edge on where to long. It may be. Not all the time, but it may be. And the better of a short seller you are, the better of a long trader you are, because you understand the mechanics on how shorts work, which really means that you understand how they don't work. You understand where not to place trades. And that right there might be your big edge when going long. For example, this short squeeze play, this is a huge edge. But why is it a huge edge to the long side? Because this is exactly where I don't want to be short. This is where everyone is shorting. And if the stock can squeeze a little bit, they're all going to get squeezed out into new high of day. That's a really awesome long play there. Now, of course, you have to use general risk guidelines and, support and resistance to confirm your theory, but that's the internals to the short squeeze. This right here. Okay, we have a midday mover, decent volume. We have the stock has borrows across the board. Relative strength, it's at or near the highs. It's just grinding, right? It's just putting in higher lows. It's really not fading. It's just grinding up. And it consolidates a little bit, keeps on grinding. It's great. It's great for a short squeeze, but we have to wait for confirmation. Okay, guys, do you have any other questions for me? I want to wrap this up this week. I've been trying to make these shows a little bit shorter so that people can retain them. If you guys don't have any other questions, I think that it was an absolutely killer week. I'm so honored to see so many of you in here. Every time we do a Micah Yo Show, there's 5-10 new people inside of the room. Wallball, not for me. Thanks for the show, Micah. Yeah, you got it, man. Cruz says, whenever we have a meetup, bring the pup. That's a long way to bring the pup. I think the meetup's going to be in LA, guys. I think our first meetup's going to be in LA. It'll be a lot of fun. Ricky says he's down. Hope to see you there, man. Hope to see all you guys there. Rafe says, this is actually the kind of thing I've been looking for, the kind of information I've been looking for. Awesome. I'm glad that it's been beneficial to you. My hope is that we can upload this to Twitter and help some other people. Hopefully we could stop them from getting squeezed. Maybe they'll really enjoy the show and want to check out the Micah Yo shows that we have once a week, twice a week sometimes. Do you guys have any other questions for me that I can answer for you? Anything about stocks that are moving or action that we've seen this week, or brokers, platforms, anything like that? Please let me know how I can help. Derm, let's see, absolutely no volume. We had a pop at the open today, but really wasn't into any worthwhile resistance. I really want to see Derm higher with volume. Yeah, I really don't see much going on Derm at all. Sorry, man. $14 stock. Really no volume. Looks pretty thick. There's just much easier things to trade. In my opinion. How funny is it going to be if CO rips to new high of day, guys? You heard it here on how the short squeeze works from my view. You guys are going to see it happen and be like, oh my God, man. Might be a light bulb moment for you guys. Wallball says, I'll be laughing all the way to the bank. I don't know if I'll make it. I'm running on fumes here. I don't know if I'll make it if it squeezes, but I'll look back later and there'll be a big smile on my face if it does squeeze, because that's, we projected that beforehand. We anticipated that squeeze. It has all the makings of a short squeeze. A lot of people talk about zombie hour. It's really not about that. It's about checking off the boxes. There's a lot of different things. Some people say that it's a period of time where things can go nutty. I disagree with that. I don't think that it is. There's no period of time that makes a stock do something solely upon its period of time, solely upon its time frame. Squeezes happen all the time. Sometimes it's an end-of-day squeeze. Sometimes it's a squeeze at the open, the first, second. Sometimes it's a huge squeeze pre-market, but there's mechanics behind the squeeze, and that's more of what I'm looking for if I were to place a trade. It's not just one metric, such as time, which is actually not really even a worthwhile metric. But the time frames can work for a lot of people. It's just not something that I put a lot of weight into. Cruz is asking about the TWAP. Okay, so you guys know that there's the VWAP, volume weighted average price. There's the TWAP, the time weighted average price. We're going to cover that in a private show. We're not going to put that one on YouTube. I think we'll make that one a members only. That one's a little juicy. Miko says he didn't know that there was a TWAP. Yeah, there's there's a lot of things that are just basically recycled cereal box answers that are floating all around Twitter and in DVDs and pulling $50 marks and watch the tape and whatever. These things are really rudimentary. It's very rudimentary stuff. Tape reading is useful, absolutely. It's very useful, but people talk about tape reading like it's gospel. It's not. It's just one facet of successful speculation, and there's a lot of powerful stuff out there that people don't even know that exist, and I don't even know that exist either, right? So like I have no idea about certain things that would probably blow me away, blow my mind. TWAP is one of those things. There's other indicators as well that we can use to help our trade plan. So yeah, TWAP is time weighted average price. So it's a time sequence that usually funds and people use to splice things up in. Okay, guys, if you don't have any other questions, we're going to wrap this up. Please let me know if you like the show. Please let me know if how I can improve. I'm always looking to improve. And keep an eye on SEAL, because I really think that this has the affinity to squeeze. If it does, I think it can fade at 328 area. That seems to be a pretty good resistance, But follow your trade plan, not mine. Take it easy. It's Friday. Volume is low. But what's most important to me is that we have a community here where we can bring traders together and learn and grow without fear of judgment or sounding silly or looking stupid. There's none of that here. There's no trolling. There's no judgments at all. I guarantee that I traded far worse than most of you or all of you when I first started. So definitely not speaking to you from a professional standpoint, because I'm not a professional. I'm on the same journey as you are, but I may just be a little bit further down the road. And, you know, when I holler back at you guys, I can say, hey, you know, there's a speed bump here, or there's a pothole here, or there's flooding here, or black ice here. You get what I'm trying to say? So maybe I can help you with the things that I've learned on my journey. But by no means am I an amazing trader or have it all figured out, because I don't. So guys, thank you so much for being here and for all of your questions and insight this week. And we'll look to catch you guys on YouTube. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and share it. And hopefully we can grow the channel and bring you guys more videos. So thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys Monday. Thank you.